Well, hello there. Over the course of this video, I'm going to share with you two cracking ideas that's really going to make a difference to the videos that you create, whether that's videos for marketing or videos for content. The first idea is going to increase the warmth, the feeling of your video, a really important point. And the second idea is going to increase the engagement level with your video, which is always important regardless whether it's content or lead generation. Hi there, my name is Peter Thomson. I'm delighted to be with you and have this opportunity to share with you some tried and tested and proven ideas on creating videos. I've been creating videos now for the last 15 years. Of the 27 years, I've been sharing my knowledge, experience and expertise and take with an ever-increasing audience across the world. And over that time, I've made some absolutely terrible videos. I've made some that are reasonable, and I've made just a couple that I felt were pretty darn good and really did what I wanted them to do. And it's through making all of those mistakes, some of them silly mistakes, some of them perhaps weren't not so silly, that I realised that there is a way to make really good videos. You and I know that one of the most overused words in marketing these days is this word, the word authentic. However, it's probably the best word to describe what we need to be when we are creating videos. So let's get on to item number one, which is how do you increase the warmth? Strange way of thinking of it, but how do you increase the warmth of your videos? In other words, how do you increase the natural feel of them? Well, here's a cracking way to do it. Some years ago, I lived in this fantastic house. Here's a picture of it, called Avonside. Just a beautiful place, isn't it? This was shortly before and shortly after I'd sold our business that I'd built up over a number of years. Whilst I was living there was one room in the house, the lounge or living room, which was a large room, which had this amazing feeling to it. It had this sort of warmth, of this comfortableness when you walked in and when you sat in that room. There was something different about it. I don't know what it was, but I found out. I asked an architect friend of mine about this room and I said, what is it that makes this room unusual? And he laughed and told me, and he said, Peter, what it is the fact that the room is not in linear proportion. In other words, firstly, it wasn't a square room, it was an oblong room. But he said the walls are slightly out of square, rather than being exactly square. It was just slightly out, and that one's a bit taller, and that one. He said because in those days when the house was built, so many years ago, people did this, and they realised this was a one-off house, and they did that to give this feeling of warmth. Whereas a very square room, a very oblong room, all the lines are exactly where they should be, could be, can be cold at times. So one of the ways that this relates to our videos is this. If you sit in the middle of the screen like this, I'm going to move now, I'm going to get moved to the middle of the screen. So if you sit right bang in the middle of the screen, that's colder. Everything's in proportion. There's the same amount of space here as there is there. However, if you sit off center, like this, and I've actually sat this side on purpose today. Normally I don't sit at the side, I do it afterwards when I'm editing the video, but for today, for demonstration, I've moved myself around. So I'm just going to check on my screen. Yes, I'm in the right place there. So let me bring up a grid over the screen for you so you can see exactly what I'm looking to achieve. And you can see what I want to achieve is that my eye line is exactly on the horizontal thirds and that my body line is exactly on the vertical thirds. If you notice on news programs particularly, and a number of other TV programs when somebody's talking to camera, you'll notice that this is how it's set up. And the reason is, there's a couple of reasons for it, and one of which we're going to go into more detail today, by the way. Oh, by the way, in just a moment or two, I'm going to show you how you can add, this is the second way of making your videos more engaging, by the way, how you can add either your PowerPoint slides or your keynote slides or anything else into your videos to make them even more engaging. And very often I've found they will convert better because there's more happening on the screen. You can bring them as a video, but for today, we're going to talk about bringing them into stills, but I'll get to that in a moment or two. So as you can see, I'm sat on the thirds. I'm clearly on the eye line and I'm on the body line. Now, the great thing about this is, and moving on to our second idea, it gives you this fantastic space on the side here, which knowing it's going to be there when I've edited it, I can refer to it. So for example, let's say I am speaking to, I use Keynote rather than PowerPoint most of the time. Let's say I've got a Keynote slide that I'm going to be delivering from slide deck. And so I positioned those slides exactly behind the camera. So let me just change my eye focus slightly. They're not actually there at the moment because I don't need them, but let's imagine they were. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't put the slides over there. I wouldn't put them down there or there, and I wouldn't put them there. And I wouldn't put them so close to the camera like this. Watch my eyes move. I wouldn't put them there and start talking there because it looks weird. I would put that screen that I was going to work from behind the camera so that I can look here, and with a slight focus change, even though I'm still looking at the camera, I'm looking behind the camera now to the actual presentation. That is good. Or if you're not going to do that, obviously what you're going to do is to bring them up on an angled screen in front of you so you can actually see them in that way. But looking off, unless you do it deliberately, the way that you've seen me do it before and today, I've got my notes here. Let me just have a look. Now, that's very natural. If you sat across this table from me, I'm working off a table here, not a desk. If you were sat across the table as we're talking to each other now, it would be perfectly natural for me to look down and say, well, the next thing I'd like to share with you, that would be perfectly natural, wouldn't it? I wouldn't go, the next thing, I wouldn't try and not look down and try and just be natural about it. Be, sorry for the overused word, be authentic about it. So the way to do that is firstly to know that you're going to bring in the PowerPoint or Keynote slides so you can refer to them. So I can do things like this. Well, as you can see, and isn't that lovely to be able to do that? And at the point of doing it, and I'll make it happen now, a slide comes in. So you can see that what we're talking about today is using the thirds. And there it is there. Now, you might decide that you actually want to be on the other side and you go all the way over here and then you do this point to here. And you can do it in this way. I have seen things done in that way. I've seen a variety of videos done. It's my preference to do it this way. And there's another special reason for this. And this is a real bit of insider stuff. So we can point there. When you're looking into the camera, you're obviously from the reverse point of view from the person who's looking at you. If I think about you, and I think about the sort of people who watch my videos, then about 11% of the population is left-handed. As it happens, I can write quite well with my left hand because I do practice a lot. I'm naturally right-handed, but I practice with my left hand. For a right-handed person, most of them, not all of them, the future is on their right-hand side. Now, my right-hand side is here. But if I do that on video and say, well, let's go to the future together, and I did it this side, it would look really weird. So what I have to do is I have to go to this side, my left, so it becomes your right on the basis that most of the population is right-handed, and for most people, their future is either straight in front of them or to their right, which is my left. This is exactly the same if you're standing on stage. You've got to change it round and know that this is the future. So knowing that, I often want to put things in the future. So therefore, I sit on this side of the camera. Usually I've done it afterwards rather than actually sit here during the day. I just film it straight in and then fiddle about with it later. But for the moment, as you can see, I'm doing it so I could put a picture here that represents the future if I wanted to. So look at those for 3 cracking ideas. Number one, I said there'd be 2, but we drifted into a third one. Number one is to make it warmer by being off-center, should we call it. So it's not all dead straight lines and all the rest of it. Sitting particularly on that third, both the eye line and the vertical line. The second idea, obviously, is to create this space for yourself so that you've got a place where you can put something in there, i.e. exporting your slides. And the way that you do that is this. You export your slides as JPEGs. Forgot to say this bit. You can export your slides as JPEGs and you put them in afterwards, but by dragging them onto the timeline and clicking on them and making them picture in picture. That's all you do, is put them on the timeline, select them, go to the drop-down menu and make them picture in picture. I'm talking about iMovie because I use a Mac and I use iMovie. I'm sure it's as simple as that in other programs as well. So then you can have your stuff over there. And then the third thing is to make sure that when you're talking about the future or the past, that you're making sure it's on the right side for the person that is watching you rather than for you. So for example, as I say to you now, if you've got any comments on this, by the way, you see I'm going to do this with my hand now because I'm going to bring something in just here It's going to be some words. You're going to say, add your comments below or something like that. So please put some comments there. You see, and as I'm doing that, the words are coming on screen. So that's all that. It's a JPEG. That actually it's a PNG, that one, because there's no background on it, that I've brought in there. And then I'm going to use my usual introduction, which is this. So I continue to wish you every success in life as you have freedom from. You see, that was in the past. Your past, not my past. It's my future over here. I'll say it again. So I continue to wish you every success as you have freedom from everything that may have held you back, and freedom to be, do and have. That's in the future there, isn't it? To be, do and have whatever you set your heart and mind upon. I certainly always enjoy putting these together for you. I hope you've got some great comments. Let's get into a dialogue about this. If there's any way that I can help you in your business, just put comments and I will come back to you, or one of my team will. And for the moment, bye for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click to watch the next video. Remember to visit our website at peterthomson.com and download your free copy of my latest book, How to Write Your Business Book in 5 days or less. Until next time, every success.